Welcome back, everybody, to Indiana Sports Radio Network, God's Word 24/7 and sports. And pleased to welcome in a dear friend of mine who, believe it or not, I've known for the last 10 years. And we met through the game of golf. And that's what we're going to be talking about. This is Mike Abdalla, who is the president of the board of directors here at Dyes Walk in Greenwood. Mike, it's great to see you again.
Great to see you, always, Steve.
You know, we have had the privilege of meeting one another through the game of golf, and like so many others, that gives an extension not to just you, but to the families and to all those other people that are associated with this great game.
Yes, this game is such a wonderful game. It goes on forever, relations stay forever, and the friendships you develop in this game amazingly stay a long, long time.
Yeah, the relationships obviously is, I think, maybe the biggest gratification that so many others can find, especially if, you know, you don't have to be a great golfer. You can just share that mutual love for it.
Yes, exactly. This is actually our club this is what it's all about. It's a group of guys and gals, and the camaraderie here is very strong.
Mike and I met through, as I said, about 10 years ago when his son Terek was a member of the Center Grove golf team. In fact, he was a two-time sectional medalist from 2008 through 2011 and went to the University of Indianapolis, and I think that's when we became really close.
That's correct, yes.
The efforts that your son Terek made while he was in high school golf, it just, you know, it speaks so well about youth golf these days, not only here in the state of Indiana, but nationally and internationally. I mean, you've seen it.
That's right, that's right.
Could you comment on just kind of the way it all goes, because it's a growing thing?
Yeah, one of the things that I wanted to do by moving here on the golf course is to introduce my kids to the game of golf for what it teaches and what it builds in a person's character. One of the most gratifying things I used to hear in golf matches from parents that played with my son, that their kids played with my son, was how wonderful my son was towards their kids and how courteous he was in helping them and taking care of their game. That used to leave a great feeling. When I leave, I say win or lose, regardless, that was the most wonderful thing.
Well, it is a growing up sort of period that these young guys go through, and it is a gentleman's game. There is an etiquette out there, isn't?
That's correct, yes.
Yeah, I think that's a wonderful thing in terms of their overall development as people, and my oh my.
The teachings in the game are just not skills. There's other parts of the game that gives you the caring part, having to understand your teammates, contribute in every way you can, even though you're out there by yourself, but you are part of a team, and you feel obligated to the team to perform. The other part, in my opinion, is honesty. You're out there also on your own. You call yourself, you call penalties on yourself. Nobody saw, but that when you go home, you sleep well at night. You didn't win cheating, or you didn't win taking advantage of a rule or a situation. So it's a game of honor and gentleman's game, like you mentioned, and those are the most important lessons in the game.
The young people competing in the 81st annual IHSAA Boys Golf State Tournament this year obviously are a notch above some of the other people that we have seen in the past. All you have to do is inspect this kind of scoring that we're seeing. Center Grove has had a phenomenal year, and I'm sure you've been right there watching it all.
That's correct. I can tell you, Steve, there's throughout the history, and I followed Center Grove golf for a while, we've always had great stars on the teams. But we've never had a great team, a strong team. This is, in my opinion, the strongest team we've had. Over the years, we've had, like I said, tremendous amount of players that graduated from Center Grove, and they went on to play college golf, and they went on to do great things. But one person and two and three don't win a state championship. You have to have all your team members clicking. And I think this is the team. I feel strongly about this team. I think they are very unified and very committed. They seem at ease when they're out there playing, and I like what I see.
Yeah, the subtle nature of this team obviously shows up in a quiet way, but a gentlemanly way, and there's never any, really hurrahs that are going on. There is congratulatory shakes of the hand with their opponents each and every time that they go out, and they just seem very ready, don't they?
They are. They are very ready. I think this is a different caliber. Like I said, the teams in the past have had other interests, and it seemed to be focused on other issues rather than winning. This team seems to be focused on winning and going the distance.
Well, they are certainly playing on a championship level course at Prairie View Golf Club, and they seem to be very familiar with it. They've done extremely well in a MIC tournament as well as other tournaments up there, so they know the course well.
They do. And with a team like our team, they all hit the ball pretty accurate. You need to be an accurate driver on that golf course. You can't spray it with a ton of heather over there. So I think they'll do wonderful.
You know, Mike, when you look at the past few years, Westfield has been a champion there in 3 out of the last 4 years. Columbus North took the title in 2014, and Center Grove, of course, finished 3rd last year behind Westfield. It was a terrible weather 2-day tournament last year, but the previous year they were the runner-up, and they were only 4 shots back. So they have the ability to make a charge at the end if needed, and but I have never seen the kind of scoring that they have had this year. Have you?
I have not, no. And I mentioned the last 2 teams you described were pretty solid as well, but not this type of scoring. When you have all the players near par or better than par, that's college strength golf there.
It was last year, of course, that Westfield won, and they posted one day of 285 and the following day of 268 for a 581. Hamilton Southeastern was 2nd, and Center Grove was 3rd. So they have been so close to a state championship, and perhaps this year could be the year.
Yeah, I hope so. I think this year could be our year.
And as far as these guys are concerned, I wanted to go back briefly to the fact that the status of Indiana junior golf, because we see all these young people coming up. Can you comment on that?
I think the junior golf programs in the state are very strong, and they're picking up speed with the PGA tournaments and the PGA junior golf tournaments that are going on in clubs. Our club has always supported junior golf. This is the pipeline for future golfers down the road. I think it weakened a little bit, but it's coming back again. For a while we had that little 3-4 year gap, and of course post Tiger Woods era, everybody wanted to get into golf, and then after that there was a little letdown. But I think that the juniors are coming back. Families are coming back into it and bringing their kids into the game. Clubs are stepping up to help do their share in supporting the junior golf programs and allowing juniors to play golf and be exposed to the country club experience. Those are all part of getting the juniors interested and keeping them in the game.
I know that you're not around these kids each and every day, but can you maybe tell me what the mental focus is of this team as well as all the great teams that are coming in to play in this tournament?
I think our team is the best as far as mental focus. They all seem to be at ease. I think they got ice in their veins, and that's what I can describe them, because they're very cool, calm, and collected. always, throughout all the games that I watched. They're very, very bright.
Just a couple more comments to ask you about, and obviously the history here at Dyes Walk goes all the way back to, I believe, 1961, when it was El Dorado Golf Club with only 9 holes at that time, and then in 87, the name change came in 87, yes, with Royal Oak, and then the name change again in 2007 to Dyes Walk. But what I'm most interested in asking you about is the organized effort to go to a member-owned group.
This was a very long and tedious process. We went through 2011, the club was in bankruptcy, and we started the process, myself and a few members, to bring it back and take it over, and the only way that it would succeed is a member-owned club. So I formed the organization,